Folks, as you know, Pace Morby has been gracious enough to be on this channel. Shout out to his wife, Laura Morby, who was a weekly contributor for quite a while. I just saw a video with him and Grant Cardone talking real estate investing. And I asked Millennial Mike to load it up because I think there were some sections we needed to react to. Mike, what'd you think?
Oh man, so I watched this video the day that it came out and I was amazed. I was floored. I will post the link to this video in the comments down below. You have got to watch this because Grant Cardone, the real estate guru, in fact, he's been cited by the Wall Street Journal as the #1 commercial real estate syndicator multiple times. And he was caught flat-footed, completely off guard by everything Pace was saying. So what I clipped out was just a seller finance deal that Pace talked about, but you and I could talk about some of the other things that went in that interview. So you ready?
Yeah, I am. Let's see it.
One of my best deals I did was, it was a 43 unit deal. Seller bought it for $1 million.
Yeah.
Held on to it for whatever amount of years. Wanted to get out of it at $4 million. He's like, but I don't want to pay capital gains all at one time.
Right.
So that's the cool thing about seller finance. He seller finances it to me at $4 million, no agent fees. I pay the closing costs. He seller financed $4 million, $0 down, because he knew I had to put some money in into renovations.
Right, right. That was the money down in his mind.
Well, he says, well, you got to put money down. I said, well, Mario, I'll put money down, but I'm going to put it in escrow, and it's going to go into construction.
Yeah, beautiful.
And he goes, all right, I'm cool with that.
Yeah, yeah. He just wants to see the commitment.
But he gave me 4% interest, fixed, 50-year note. 50-year note. Well, here's the craziest thing.
Wow,
about this.
dude.
Well, this is what's great about seller finance is I can
Because
negotiate.
he wants the income.
He doesn't want the income, Grant. He wants his son to have the income. So I go to Mario and I go, I'll give you a monthly payment. And he goes, okay, but I want a 5-year balloon. I said, Mario, here's the thing, man. You got your 12-year-old son. He hates this property. He has resentment towards you. How about we turn this deal into the greatest thing for your son?
Wow, wow.
And I said, imagine where will you be when your son's 62 years old? He says, I'll be dead.
Yeah.
I go, yeah, but you'll be in his mind every month when he gets an $11,000 check from Pace when he's 62 years old. And we can turn this property into a memory that you set up every single month. And he was like, done. And so it wasn't about the numbers.
Yeah,
it was about the emotions. It was about all the other things.
So 50 years, he gets 11 grand a month,
11 grand.
600 months.
That asset
so he's
brings
going to
in
get 6.6 million, not 4 million or 3 million.
Yeah, because he got the 4% interest on it. Yeah, I gave him no money up front.
Yeah.
Nothing. Yeah, I paid closing costs, which were $5 grand.
All right, Mike. So there was start to finish a seller finance deal from Pace. Again, I encourage people to watch the full video, but what do you think?
I think there's a couple of things that I take away from this. First and foremost, seller financing deals are out there. They're possible. Talking to tied landlords, people that own them free and clear are out there. But the one thing I want to do is give Pace his flowers. He is a silver-tongued selling machine. He understood how to take an objection, how he took the full story of the son hates this property. It's it's this, it's that, and turn it into an asset. And he gave the seller everything he wanted, $4 million. He did not battle the seller on that number. So again, Pace is a wonderful salesperson, and he does that because he listens. Too many people, in my opinion, get excited about seller financing and try to force it, right? Like everything, like it's a hammer seeking a nail. One of the things, again, that I've admitted I have to get better at is all the creative financing options, which seller financing is only one sliver, and a sliver that I know fairly well. I don't know the others. Pace knows them all. So I think that was cool. I think there's other things that people have to realize. Why does the guy want payments, not $4 million? Because again, he's owned it for a while. He's depreciated it to zero. He doesn't want to pay capital gains, which is 4 million minus $1 million, but he doesn't also want depreciation recapture. These are all things Pace knows and he can use to a selling advantage. So I love it that Pace is dropping wisdom on Grant. I think Grant, again, I don't know the guy at all, but everything I see on social media, he gets banks and Fannie and Freddie debt. I don't know if Grant's ever done a seller finance deal. To me, it looked like light bulbs were going on over Grant's head. I've even seen Grant since this release. Actually, I watched a Grant video, I think it was yesterday, where he's basically telling syndicators with blowing up deals because of that Wall Street Journal article to call him because I think he's trying to do, sub 2 or whatnot for seller finance. So I think Pace educated Grant, and Grant will operate different going forward. So it was amazing for me to watch Grant, who's a billionaire, who's been on TV, who is, is this real estate god in most people's minds, to watch the light bulb go on over his head. So, Pace brought it, and it was fun to watch Pace be the teacher, where I think a lot of people would assume Grant was teaching Pace. Right. I think it was the other way around.
And it just continued to surprise me was it wasn't just seller financing. I mean, it was the entire subject to process. Grant is sitting there and he's saying, well, how can you assume someone's loan? How can you take over their loan subject? He has no idea. He's never heard these terms. He has no idea the legality behind it. He didn't even understand how a title and a deed worked. And my key takeaway from that was that this is why it's very important to double check where you're getting your information from. Not only should you, filter out the crash bros and the doomers who are just going to naysay the entire time, but if you're watching someone who talks about real estate, but they invest in large multifamily or syndicated properties, they have absolutely zero idea how the single family housing market or the small multifamily market works. And if you take their advice, they don't even know what owner financing, seller financing, they have no idea what any of it is. And this is from Grant Cardone. So again, I encourage people big time to watch this video. Mike, I got a question for you, a follow-up question about owner financing, because I'm in the middle of negotiating a seller finance deal right now. And one of the concerns that was expressed to me by the potential seller was he's concerned that there's still a risk I could default on my payments in the loan to him. Now, I know what I responded with, but I want to hear what you would respond with first.
Well, the good news is, again, assuming he's selling, like he is the bank in this, he owns it outright.
Interest. He's going to finance it to me.
Yeah. Yeah, so he has a secured interest just like any other bank. If you don't pay him, he forecloses and he takes the property back. Certainly not something he wants to do. Certainly not something I'm sure would be fun, but it's not like he'll lose the property forever. If you don't pay him, he'll take it back and he could sell it to someone else, keep all your payments, keep the equity in. It is a secured note, first deed of trust and a note that are securitized together. So it's the ultimate security. It's not like he's just doing a handshake. Right. No, it'll go through title. It'll be recorded. It's a financial asset. Oh, by the way, here's a deal for him. Let's say you do a seller finance deal with you for $100,000. I'm just making this up. And he doesn't want to keep it. Did you guys know there's an entire business community out there buying notes? He could sell that note. Now, he won't get $100,000 for it, but that note has value. He might be able to sell it for $92,000. So he could even sell the note if he doesn't want to deal with you, and somebody else could be the servicer. So this note that's being created is a financial asset. It'll be part of his will or trust or whatever, probate. It's not a handshake. There's actually legality there.
Right. So what I did is I covered some of the same points that you brought up, which is, look, man, if I give you $25,000 down and I make a year worth of payments and then I default, you get to keep the $25,000 down. You get to keep the year's worth of payments. You get to keep any improvements that I've made to the property. You get to take the property back. I'm not living in the property, so there's no homestead rights for me. It's not like you have to struggle to kick me out. There's tenants that are in there. There are tenants in there right now. Like foreclosing on me is a good thing for you because you get to take it back plus all this extra stuff I've given you and then resell it at whatever the prices are a year from now. And so then I said, I would even be willing, and this is something I've talked about with a real estate attorney in Indiana, this may not be applicable for all states. I said, I'd even be willing to pre-sign a quit claim deed held by the title company if it made you feel more comfortable that if I didn't make my payments, whatever title company is monitoring our transactions and conducting this transaction, monitoring payments, if I don't sign by the 30th day, quit claim deed goes into effect, the house is immediately yours. Like I have no problem because he doesn't know this. That's why he's asking. But it would just go back to him like that anyways. So what do I care?
Yeah. Yeah. The other thing that you might want to do out there is something I've done once is I actually prepaid 3 months. So each subsequent payment was actually 3 months in advance.
Okay.
Right. So if I missed a payment, they could start foreclosing.
That's
right?
Smart. So, that's smart. I like that. God, Mike, you're smart. Okay. Prepay 3 months, which you get them through the foreclosure period. God, that is smart, Mike.
Right. And then every payment that comes after is actually just taking you the next month forward. So
that is smart. God dang it, Mike. That is freaking smart. Why didn't I think of that? Prepay 3 months to foreclosure concerns. Wow. Okay. All right. I'm going to send him that email later too. Well, I learned something today, folks. I hope you did. That's all I had for Grant Pace and me and Mike. We got more videos coming up next, though.
Thank you, buddy.